Yeah, what else going on, guys?
I don't know. Jimmy Butler torpedoed the Miami Heat season on the way to getting a huge big money contract and having the Warriors up 3-1 in a best-of-7 series and poised to go on a deep playoff run.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Also, what about the Cleveland Cavaliers? You got to let them know.
Let them know. Cavs, let them know. We got the hat right here on the desk. Shout out to our social and digital director, Rob Lorenzo, avid Cavs fan. Made light work of the Miami Heat in the Kaseya Center. Where's the professional pride from the Miami Heat?
That's right.
That was just an embarrassment.
A sweep, 55
I had to do a double take. It was 41-14 in the first quarter.
It was the largest series clinching win in NBA postseason history.
And it wasn't that close. He lost by 55, and it wasn't that close.
It wasn't that close.
They were down 60 at one point.
It was an absolute embarrassment.
This is going to be an awful day. For those who are unaware, I am a Heat fan. I love this team. You heard the audio where I said in a video that ESPN Cleveland, our great station in Cleveland, 850, Land on Demand. Tony Rizzo was on with us yesterday. Go back on the pod and listen. And they asked me to do a video previewing the series because they know we're on in the morning, and I'm a huge Heat fan. I don't think you're going to have to worry about them doing a finals one against the Lakers. Oh, I'm going to just do shots now. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway.
It's okay, Evan. Hurt people hurt people.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt currently. So they asked me to do the video, and I'm like, well, the Cavs are probably going to win this series, but this is not the kind of matchup you want in the first round because this is not going to be an easy one. It's going to be too much effort in the first round. To say I was wrong would be an understatement. This was a plus 122, I think, for the 4 games, right?
Yes. That is.
And it was a 30.5 point per game differential. Do you know that last night at 30-8, I went to ESPN Bet, and I'm like, the Heat are weird in that when they're up big, they lose. When they're down big, they win. I'm like, oh, I'll bet this. This is great. Well, that didn't work for me. This is a nightmare. I'm going to take the hits today, and I'm going to get punched in the face many times, and I deserve it. My team was awful. My team was a joke last night. Barkley said they quit. It was an embarrassment.
I see what he's doing right now. He's trying to get it all out, say all of the things to leave us no ammo to take digs and shots at him.
He's trying to pull the M&M.
Yeah, that's exactly
My real
what
name's
he's doing.
Clarence.
Oh, yeah. Clarence, parents have a real nice marriage. Like that's what you're doing right now.
Correct.
You're not going to take our joy away from us.
I'll shut up.
Trying to go full beer
I'll
rabbit.
shut up.
No, I mean, you don't have to shut up. You already talked about it. They lost by 50 last night. It's an absolute embarrassment for all of the business of Eric Spoelstra being one of the best coaches in the NBA and Heat culture and our guys play hard and
that's right.
We're going to leave skin on the floor. All of these different things that we attribute to the Miami Heat organization run by Pat Riley, we saw none of that over the course of 4 games in this series. I mean, complete light work. The Cavs swept them. They're going to have a chance to get real good rest leading into their round 2 matchup. But it's absolutely abysmal what we saw from the Miami Heat last night. Just no effort. They ain't even pinch the Cleveland Cavaliers. Not one little pinch.
Nope.
Not one little pinch. I don't understand how, as a professional athlete in the playoffs, you can have such a lackluster performance. I understand the lack of talent. I get that. But there's no excuse for that series not looking more competitive than it did. You might get swept, but at least let the games be closely contested. The Cleveland Cavaliers weren't challenged at all.
Nope.
This was a speed bump in round 1.
Yes.
I don't even know if I would call it that. That's being generous. The speed bump analogy? I don't know about that.
All right, your turn. Go ahead.
Well, I think Charles Barkley put it very well last night on Inside the NBA when he said it looks like quitting at its finest. And for an organization that literally has culture in their moniker, Heat culture, I don't know how you take that, Evan, as somebody that really thinks that Heat culture is still a thing, to see not only the sweep and the manner in which it happened, but to have guys that look like they're totally checked out. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think, and on a serious note, I don't think it's fair to relitigate the last 20 years since they won their first title. The culture is real. It does exist. This year was a disaster from start to finish. And if we're going to go, I'll do a quick inside Heat kind of thing, and then we can continue the bloodbath here. The modern day 2025 athlete is not used to the call out, right? It's more of how do we get our situation better? Very few athletes, I believe, are called out by their coaches and get better as a result, or executives and get better. It's different than when CeCe played. CeCe was probably called out every day of his life by Al Groh and Bill Parcells, et cetera, right? Like, Pat Riley made a huge mistake. And I love Pat Riley, and I want Pat Riley to be the president of the Miami Heat for as long as he wants. The moment he decided to call out Jimmy Butler, he should have, instead of doing it, he should have traded him.
Well, here's the mistake. And I agree with you 1,000%. When a player in today's professional sports, particularly in the NBA, tells you they don't want to be there, you got to move on from them. You got to move on from them. This dance that Pat Riley did throughout last offseason and the early part of 2024, 2025 was absolutely ridiculous. And it cost his team an opportunity.
Yes.
If you trade Jimmy Butler last offseason when the guy told you that he wanted a new deal or he wanted to be moved, if you'd have done that, maybe you would have gotten assets that could have helped you this season. Maybe you could have positioned the players that are on this roster to be prepared for their respective roles and what it would have taken for this team to be more competitive once we got to this time of year. There are so many other different pathways that the Miami Heat could have gone down rather than playing chicken with Jimmy Butler, somebody that is headstrong, somebody that is resolute in his position, whether it's wrong or right. I don't understand why Pat Riley decided to do that. Once again, we know it doesn't work in today's NBA. We know the players have all the leverage. Why in the world will you try to hold Jimmy Butler hostage? What you ended up doing is holding your own team hostage, and that's unfortunate.
And I think he has no choice but to own that this week. If he does the postseason presser, I think he has no choice but to sit there and say what you just said of like, hey, if I wasn't here the last 30 years and I didn't have all these championships and finals appearances and I just had the last 2 years, I would theoretically deserve to be fired, and I need to get this team better. But bigger picture. Right? Cavs obviously are unbelievable. Hats off to them. Congratulations to them. They kicked my team's butt. But I do want to ask you guys as sports fans, I was thinking about this. What would you rather, if you had these two things, would you rather not make the playoffs or lose like this?
Not make the playoffs. I mean, the combined 92 points that Cleveland won by in games 3 and 4, it's the largest point differential in a 2-game span in playoff history. And the 122-point differential for the series set a playoff record. You were
the worst playoff performance ever, Miami.
Historically bad.
Yes.
I would rather not make the playoffs than be historically bad in them.
I would rather not make the playoffs because it's a sports character indictment, what we saw in round one. You got an opportunity to compete for a championship, as far-fetched as it may well be, and you don't show up. You pull a no-show. Now, how many times have we dismissed the Miami Heat in the past and somehow, some way they find themselves in the conference finals or better?
Yep.
Yeah.
Many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of times over the last half decade.
Yep.
They've come in as an 8 seed. They've been in the play-in, and they found a way to get to the conference finals or the NBA finals. It happens.
They're the poster child for that in every sport.
Yeah, exactly. And why they've been able to do it is because they played hard on Pat Riley Court in the Kaseya Center. They play hard.
Yes.
Harder than anybody else.
Not last night.
Not last night, not this series, not this season.
Not this series.
And it's because of the malaise of the Jimmy Butler debacle. And that's why I said Pat Riley did the organization a disservice by letting a malcontent like Jimmy Butler infect your locker room. And at some point, the drama that's going on away from the court becomes louder than any of the voices trying to facilitate success on the court. And that's exactly what we saw. What Jimmy Butler was doing was so loud that nobody could hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying. And it's weird that Pat Riley would undermine one of his disciples and basically not even give this team a chance to be competitive this season once they got to the postseason.
Everything that you're saying is correct. I guess I'm still a little surprised, though, because from where I sit, I thought that Heat culture was star-proof. I thought if you have Pat Riley and you have Eric Spoelstra and you have all of this history and you have this culture, this identity that is in the building and that is passed on from player to player to player, and you still have those two pillars in place, that even though the Jimmy Butler situation was in fact a debacle, and even though it did leave a residue within this specific team, I guess I just thought that grittiness, that fight, that culture that we've seen so many times wouldn't be this impacted by one star leaving.
Oh boy, this is going to be rough today. I mean, everything.
I'm not even trying to poke at you. I'm serious.
No, I think
I
think it's a good point. I mean, I've seen them a few years ago. I don't remember the exact year, but they started the season 11-30. They finished the season 30-11. Right? Like they had no great players in the team. That was pre-Jimmy. Like, yeah, the whole thing is it's supposed to be started. Like, look at Max Strus last night. It was great and been great for the Cavs.
Awesome.
Right. He was nothing with other teams. He comes to Miami, they make him into something. Gabe Vincent on your Lakers, who I still think can be a contributing player. Didn't play in the second half. Whatever. The point is, he gets a deal by the freaking Los Angeles Lakers of all teams. Like, that's a big. He was nothing. They find these guys. I don't mean as a person or a player. I'm saying nobody knew who he was, right?
Yeah.
They build them up as a player.
And you're right. Start proof. Not this year. And the ironic part is they have more high-level draft picks on their team this year than maybe ever before. If you look up and down that, Andrew Wiggins was the number 1 pick overall. Khalil Ware, first rounder. Tyler Hero, first rounder. Bam Adebayo, first rounder. Jaime Jaquez, who doesn't play, first rounder. They were a mess. I have egg on my face every which way. I'm embarrassed.
Toàn cái đi đường kiểu nó đánh này.
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng với tiêu đề là chiếc lá. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nhé.
Rồi giờ mình sẽ ở đâu? Ở đâu?
Mẹ đâu, mang ngay cả lần chứ không?
Có son môi này, xong mình liếm mình nuốt có bị sao?
Hả?
Son môi mình liếm mình nuốt có bị sao?
Mẹ cả lần kia.
Nào rồi, cậu quen. Ở đây.
Bà muốn tụi nghỉ đi nữa.
Rồi, mình sẽ đi vào tí.
Làm gì á?
Tô tượng nha. Câu ra rửa tay mà. Tô xanh.
Hai thứ 6 rồi. Phải, nào lại hết năm đến nơi à? Ăn cỗ lần nữa, anh nhở, ăn Tết lần nữa đến nơi rồi.
Cô lần nữa. Cô chị à?
Từ giờ đến cuối năm và anh quyết lên nghe để ăn cô.
Nhẹ, đọc thư thêm.
Ừ.
Từ giờ cuối năm nha, anh kiếm ngót nghét ok này. Thứ nhất này, đấy là cái thứ nhất anh kiếm ngót nghét ok nha. Thứ hai nha, anh quyết cưới vợ. Cái thứ ba nhá, gần cuối năm mua một xe ô tô. Ôi dồi ôi, năm nay quá tiếc.
Ô tô mua rồi, ô tô.
Có thế mua rồi ư?
Kiều ơi, cái này mua.
Mua để đâu?
Cuối năm mua. Đang không biết để đâu, chắc phải gửi tiếng Anh để trên đây.
Em để mày
Lên
đường.
đây á. Chỗ vườn nhà em á.
Để nghĩ em chị ba đây.